Hey, how's it going, guys? All right, so for this one, Steph and our daughter actually took up playing piano / keyboard, and they had a lot of sheet music books that they needed something to hold open. So Steph asked if I could make some sheet music holders, and I hopped online and kind of found that there's a bunch of different materials. Some were acrylic, some were wire, some even had like little animals on them, and some were even made to look like an animal, like this cat here. So I use those as kind of a reference, kind of a template to figure out, the dimensions and overall, width of how these would have to hold the pages together. And this is me in CAD. This is what I kind of drew up. I wanted to do something where it'd be like a 2-layer stacked effect. And I took two pieces of copper and brass that I had on hand. It was only about 32 thousandths, and cut it out with my Dremel, and then used some copper, brass, and aluminum rivets to basically just affix them together. It was really fun. There's a little nick right here on that top one on the right side of the copper where I went a little too far with the metal cutting wheel. But after some sanding drums, kind of cleaned up the edges so there weren't too many burrs, and off to the next step, which this Venom symbiote looking stuff is actually just black nail polish. And this is a process that I had seen a lot of people do, called Electro Etching. It's basically a process of using salt water and electricity to etch away metal, and what the effect is everywhere that has the nail polish splattered is basically masked away from being etched. Here's a little test piece that I did on both copper and brass at the same time, and like I said, it'll etch away where the nail polish is not, and it'll keep the surface finish of whatever is underneath the nail polish. And after a little bit of sanding, you see the high spots, and I thought it came out really, really cool. It's a really interesting process to do. And then after, I think this was a wire brushed wheel. That's how I got that finish right there. So after that test piece, I figured, all right, well, I'll hop onto the actual sheet music holders, and this is them fresh, right after being electro etched. And there's some discoloration and almost a patina to them. The color is from heat. There is heat generated, but the process also does expedite the oxidation process, or the quote-unquote rusting process of each material. So that's what gives it this look. And once you acetone off the nail polish, it's left a little bit rough. But once again, with the wire wheel, went over all the nooks and crannies, over the faces of both front and back, and as well as on all the rivets. Just cleaned it all up, did some minor polishing, and ended up coming up with this finish. And it was really hard for me because I like to do a deep dark patina and then sand off to leave like high spots. But I kind of thought that these being used on pages, music sheets basically, I didn't want that patina to rub off on in the books or any of the pages, so I left it with this finish. There you can see that little that little hiccup with the metal cutting tool on my Dremel. But overall, I had fun doing these. It was a really light conversation where Steph was like, "Hey, do you think you can make these?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I could." And I went out in the garage. I think it was about the span of 2 days. That first night, I had drawn them up in CAD, went out in the garage, found my brass and copper sheets, and just started cutting away. The rivets I had on hand, so that's how I assembled those. And by the second day, I was electro etching and then polishing. So it was definitely fun, I would say that, but it really opens the world to, like, I really wanted to do some that were like stainless with steel in the front, or even stainless and copper, or stainless and brass, which I might end up, eventually getting to, but for now, they each needed one, and so far that's all that I've made. But again, it was really fun to do. The electro etching was really, really a neat process. And overall, I like the outcome, as far as, what they are. They do the job they're supposed to do. And I personally thought they were kind of cool. Nice and shiny, textured, something a little different. So, but yeah, that's essentially the build for this video. I hope you guys dig it. And I should have some more videos out here pretty quick. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.